Hello, and welcome to the penultimate session of this series of Apocalypse Keys, All the Bells on Earth. We are playing the titular mystery, which is set in Las Vegas. This is our fourth mission, and we got into it last time. We're going to be back with the crew in their various spaces, talking about that. I have some meta for how I want to kind of set up this sort of first stage of what we're going to do today. But let's begin with the choices of session XP questions and start of session moves. So, Vane, I don't believe you have any start of session
I
moves.
have no start of session moves.
But
Um,
what do you want as your XP question?
I'm going to rebel against my prophecy.
Okay,
Always a good one.
excellent. And then Cetus, I don't believe you have start of session either.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And let's see for my question. I think I'll do. I haven't tried this one in a while. Did you use the emotions or memories of another to create a cruel advantage?
Nice.
Ooh.
Now it looks like your XP track is filled there.
Oh, it is.
So you're gonna figure out another move. Do you know what one you want, or do you want to wait on figuring that out?
I think I might wait. Why don't I just go ahead? There's not a lot to choose from anymore since we've taken a lot of advances. I think I'll do the standard move, the truth above all else, which just allows me when I'm grasping keys alone
Hmm,
and inviting danger to take more darkness tokens.
I
So
like that. That is a classic. And then Beelzebub.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with did you protect someone? Actually, I'm going to save that for next session. I would like that to be my XP for
Okay.
the last session. So let's do the thing I still haven't successfully done after having it up for 2 sessions, which is find a willing victim to sate my hunger. I'm going to try to make it not Cetus time because I
Okay.
think the last time I had the last 2 times I had it was Cetus.
All right.
And then I did get an XP advance last session. And I took a move from another playbook, and that move is the lies that serve me from the fallen. You have learned through pain that secrets are a key aspect of survival. You may attempt to tap into your latent divinity to cloak reality with your lies for a time. Declare a secret or truth you wish to conceal. Describe what lie or distraction will replace it. And then, depending on what I roll, I can make choices, and they're mostly bad.
Excellent.
Great.
And then your start of session.
Yeah, so my start session move is a flickering hope. Describe a memory of your people. Choose to speak with love, sorrow, or both. I am speaking here with pure love, and it's actually about a meal. A meal I shared with a bunch of my fellow scientists. Um, uh, like at the peak of our project, right? That turned into this horrific thing that summoned my hunger and destroyed my world. But we were early on, we were just making breakthroughs. We had given up. I think it was shortly after we accidentally summoned Vane that time. And we're like, demon summoning's not the thing. It's gonna have to be something else. And so we just started tapping into this power that could convert hope into strength, convert not just hope, like emotions into strength,
Okay.
um uh through use emotions as fuel. And it was like this really heady time, and we all just sort of like sat together, and it was a potluck. We each brought something we loved that was like a personal favorite, and we ate and we drank long into the night, and it was glorious. And I was in love with all of them, in that moment of that night. And I hope to sate my hunger again in a way that is as joyful and uncomplicated as that.
Nice.
So maybe there's a little bit of sorrow there too.
How many tokens do you want to spend?
How many do I have? I don't think I have very many. I'm gonna roll with no tokens, no tokens,
Sure.
no tokens. And here we go. That's a 10.
That is a 10. So choose two.
Yeah. On a 10, I choose 2. So, the long overture of the apocalypse and how it claimed my people. It was me. I think it's sort of, I think I shade into, like, it gets sad, right? Because feeding on, like, having this meal of joy and then, like, remembering one by one how I ate the hope that was so high, so powerful at that meal, slowly over time, as I slowly sort of consumed each one of those friends, and then got more and more powerful, until it consumed my entire world. I'm going to uncover a key with that.
I think that as you're dwelling on that, as you're walking through here, through this casino, you will look and you will see that sometimes in some of these seats, especially the seats off to the side, you will see ghosts. But when you kind of go and look, I mean, you've seen ghosts before. You're a creature of strange powers and mysticism, so you've probably seen such things before. But when you go over, you realize that these are corpses of ghosts. They are the shells, the inanimate forms of ghosts, but empty and hollow. And you see them kind of scattered throughout the casino.
Sure. Ghost
Corpses of
corpses.
ghosts, I think, is
Yeah.
the shorthand for that.
Yeah.
And what do you want as your second pick?
Yeah, and for my second, I mean, I think these ghosts and that moment, right, is now sort of moving me into being haunted by the tragedy of my people, because it's a funny thing. Some of these ghost corpses, obviously, physically, my people and humans don't look all that much alike. I haven't really described them. I'm not sure what they look like, but there's something very inhuman about our natural shape, about my natural shape. I think it is this. This demonic form I have is a very humanoid approximation of it, of our actual form. But these corpses, I think they're reminding me of the shells of the people who I consumed, right? When their hope is gone and there's nothing left, um, you know, was gone and there was nothing left. And I think, that last moment, as being surrounded by these, or not surrounded, but encountering these ghost corpses while I'm already in this state of, like, remembering the apocalypse and my loss. I think sort of pushes me, it's haunting, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take a bond on what the darkness demands of me.
So to remind you where we're at, you were sent here because Division has confirmed the reappearance of the Chernobyl deck, Tarot deck. It's a legendary proto-Tarot deck. Collection of cards that are said to have been written with the blood of lost and murdered deities. The deck was believed destroyed, but they have reason to believe that it or a facsimile or something else has appeared here, and it has drawn other forces, other supernatural powers to this place. The danger being that Vegas, because of its very nature of uncertainty and risk and passion, makes it difficult for them to determine exactly what's going on. So we've got these significant people who may be maybe bringing the deck, maybe bringing pieces of the deck, maybe coming for the deck, maybe wanting to buy it. All it's uncertain, but it has created here a shift in reality that has overwritten existing casinos with these alternate different casinos, each one seemingly associated with a person of power and each one with its own sort of milieu, but connected together. But there are real people in these places. People who believe that these places are real, people who are coming and going. It is the Red Rock Casino, Animus, the Assassin's Creed experience, Sherwood Forest, and Wolf Towers. Your contact, Mr. Geyer, gave you the briefing on all that and set you here. And you were given by division some walking around money, which excited all of you to no end. You had a chance to go into the casinos. I believe that Vane with getting grabbed up by security when last we left off, and that Cetus had spotted some unusual people there at Animus. Clearly, like the normal guests were not seeing them as they were. And Beelzebub ran into Lisa Steele, who seemed to be some sort of gambler figure there at Wolf Towers. As well, our absent crew member, Samson, ran into Hildy Mist, who you believe is some kind of Valkyrie of some kind, given their reference to the Einherjar and such. And that's where we left off last time. You were picked up, Vane, by the security person, Maddie Chromes, for that particular casino, and you were being taken back down to the holding areas. And as you noticed, as you went down there, that they don't seem to have security cameras in this place. Even though they have security cameras in this place. But you would be taken there by Maddie, who is, how do I put this? A little jaded looking, a little worn out security guy. And they would open up a little holding cell down there. And they put you in the holding cell and they lock it, and Chromes turns and says, "We're going to let you cool off for a while, and then we'll come back and have a conversation about restitution for the damage that you caused upstairs." See him narrow his eyes. You're not giving him any of the reactions or things that he's expecting.
No, I'm just jauntily giving him a thumbs up and settling back.
Well, maybe when you come down off of whatever popped up goop you're on, we'll figure out what is happening with you. And he will walk away. So one of the things I definitely want to do here in the early part, Beelzebub has certainly hit on it earlier, is I want to give an early chance for Vane and Cetus if you want to grasp for keys here, because we didn't really get any keys last time, so I'd like to see that. So what are you doing here to look around? Are you checking out the cell? Are you busting your way out and searching back here, Vane? What do you think?
So I could say this instead of type it. I'm going to kind of think out loud. It would be good if there were more than one of us down here, but if it's super exciting up there, you might want to keep hanging out. I don't know.
Sit tight. I'm winning this hand. As soon as I wrap up this hand, I'll come join you.
Got it.
Lucky man again.
And so I will kind of, I'm gonna break out and just sort of wander around looking to see what's, because you said it was easy to break out.
I think with your strength, if you're willing to do some damage here, I don't think it's any
Yeah,
real
yeah.
problem.
I
But
revel in it. It'll be relatively quiet damage, but
yeah,
damage nonetheless.
let's have you up. I think this is powering through darkness. Make a roll for this, because this could be complicated.
The big dice.
Big dice. And how many darkness tokens do you wish to spend?
I will spend 2.
Okay.
8 plus 2 is 10.
10. So you will, that lock gives, and you'll be able to walk around here. I do think maybe you could take a couple of extra darkness tokens for essentially telling the security guard to do whatever they want and you don't care.
Yeah, I think so too. All right.
So you'll wander through the back halls of this place, kind of looking around, trying to get a sense of what's going on. There's definitely, the setup like a security place, but there are a few people than you would expect. There's a lot of space back here that opens up into empty rooms and things. You do, as you move down, you can see that this connects up clearly with some of the work areas, like the kitchens and things like that. And I
So,
think, like, from there, you're hearing like chanting songs and things.
oh, interesting. So, but like the empty rooms are like empty, completely empty rooms, or empty
They
of
have
people, or
carpeting. They have picture frames that are empty. They have desks
ooh,
that have nothing in them.
ooh.
They're like the idea of a room that should be back here
Okay,
that's kind
okay.
of not completed.
And I hear chanting,
Yeah, singing and chanting from down there.
like Lawrence Wilkins singing and chanting,
Yeah,
or call
open
it.
the door. You feel the steam, and you think maybe down below is maybe like a laundry. Like you can feel that, like you're hearing that, because that's one of the big things in these hotels is massive laundry units, the sound of it. And I think you hear the and so and they just kind of up and down chanting sort of weird
Well,
Germanic
so
like
I'm gonna
songs.
kick back and kind of lean against the wall and think to Cetus, they're singing now if you're interested, and otherwise just wait for him to pop up.
Okay. Do you want to do a grasp for keys?
I'm gonna wait and we're gonna do one together.
Okay. So
A
Cetus,
joint grasp for keys.
you
All
are
right.
doing very well.
At the
Vane is
poker
called and
table.
interrupted, but you didn't lose your streak. You keep going a little bit further, and then Vane calls and says, "Hey, they're singing now."
That catches Cetus's attention. But before Cetus, because where we left Cetus, he was looking inconspicuous with his man of 1,000 faces or woman of 1,000 faces move. And so I think he was in a purple tracksuit, looking like a Karen at the poker table. And the troll was bringing him drinks. Now,
Oh yeah,
stronger
absolutely.
drinks. I think before I run down to look into the singing with Vane, I think I want to grasp keys here and see if Cetus is basically tracking all the non-humans that are working the floor and trying to see if he can sense anything in their thoughts about the chairboard deck.
Okay. Why don't you make a roll for me?
Sure. And why don't I use one darkness token? And let's see. Okay. Let's see what happens. It's a 9.
That is a 9. So that is right in that sweet spot. I think that you will run your mind through some of these people, some of these things that are going on, and you kind of grasp into one of them as they walk along, and you will see them. It's one of these workers, and they're going to the back. But before sort of the service way, there is a big metal mirror on the wall, and you will see this worker kind of stop there and stands in front of the mirror, and you can see that like etched into this mirror is this form. And you see this figure that is stabbed with knives on its back, and it's kind of looking away, and it's walking away from something. And I think you know that this weird sketched in on sort of the almost the underside of the metal is, you know, it's called the exile. You know that that's its arcana. But it's weird. These people step up and they look at it, and there's a second like where they almost see their own face in the figure of the exile, and then they walk on.
Okay. So the short version of that would be the exile
Exile in card in a mirror.
carved in a mirror. Oops. Excellent. Let's see this. All right.
But if you follow down from that, make your way through, and eventually you will find your way down. It's much easier to get around this than you would have expected. Now, mind you, you have the ability to kind of sense people and use your powers that way, but still, there ought to be a lot more security down here in this place. And you will cross paths with Vane.
I still have my gin and tonic.
Yeah.
But I cashed in my chips.
Absolutely. So what do the two of you want to do? Muted.
Sorry, active and mirror amateur. I am going to kind of like point to the music and say, shall we go see what's going on there?
Sure, you're not in the cage anymore, huh?
No, they don't seem to be very good at making cages here.
You were so nice to them. What was that about?
I smashed some things here and there. There's empty rooms all over the place. It's like a shell of a place here.
Yeah, you're right. People don't seem to notice much either. There's monsters walking the floor, and no one is noticing. But, you know, mortals are kind of clueless. But that singing is interesting. Let's go.
All right. And we're going to wander down there and search for a key with the singing.
You will walk down, follow your way down, follow the music until you come into, well, this is clearly the laundry, but why would the laundry be illuminated by flames?
Wow.
Why would there be like the drums of the laundry bins, but also fires, like furnaces kind of going underneath? And you will see a couple dozen of these short, broad-chested, shirtless, short, big bearded dwarves who are singing in tune in some sort of Nordic Germanic song and folding laundry to the song and like rapping hammers every once in a while to clang against this, and they are working away here. and enjoying themselves in this the good sweat of their labor and a little bit of starch on them as they're down here. And then there's the whoosh as they close down and they iron something, and the great vents of steam come off of there. Would you like to grasp 4 keys, Vane?
Yes. Yes.
Why don't you tell me how many tokens you want to spend and roll?
Let's take 2.
Okay.
We'll try to roll more quietly this time. We'll see.
With those dice?
Wow. 3 plus 2, 5.
So that is a 5. So that is on a 7 less, you find more than you were ready for. So you can choose to spend some bonds if you want to push that up, or you can mark ruin to uncover a key, but there's also an issue.
Well, I'm going to spend 2 bonds.
Okay.
Right, that gets me up to 7 and okay.
Oh, no, you need to get to 8.
Oh, I need to get to 8. So I would have to burn every bond I have.
Yes.
Or take a ruin.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah. Don't spend any bonds. Take a ruin.
Sure, I'll take a ruin.
Okay. So I think as you are walking through here, looking around, you will see that up, like on the wall, mounted here in a place of importance, is like like, how do I put this? A broom handle, but at the
Interesting.
tip of it sort of is this ancient looking spearhead that has sort of what looks to you like still fresh blood on it. And you kind of walk up and you can kind of feel the power off it. It's like this is a talismanic item. And you kind of reach up and you'll take it down. It has a real weight to it. And as soon as you touch it, this room goes quiet. And you will look around and you will see 24 dwarves picking up various hammers and tongs and irons and tools. And they are very clearly angry.
Well, you see Vane look at them and kind of spin the spear in one hand and kind of reach out in the air in the other and grab a scythe and then just grin from ear to ear.
Absolutely. We'll come back to that particular encounter in just a moment.
Just a moment. All right.
But the spearhead is the key that you can mark down. So we have now 3 keys.
And we see Cetus just kind of lean against the door frame and
Yes.
sip his gin and tonic, waiting for the brawl
It's
to
so
happen.
warm down here, though, that the ice is melted and made it even more
Damn.
watered down.
No,
Beelzebub.
the troll started bringing me the good ones later.
Yeah, that's true. Beelzebub, you're there in Wolf Towers. You've wandered around. Some really loose tables. You hear the sound of people working at the slot machines. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to wander over to the buffet, and specifically, I believe that was her name, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
That Lisa mentioned that she might be hanging out over by the buffet for a while.
Yeah.
And I might wander over there and have a little conversation with her.
She's got a big table, like plate, with steak, bacon, shrimp, lobster. She's done the high value items on it. And then a cup of coffee. She's seated at a booth there, and she's relaxing. She's got a couple of packs of cigarettes there beside her, and she's doing that kind of breakfast eating while you're smoking that you can only do when you just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I sit down with her. Is there any kind of a waiter I could flag down to get a cup of coffee? I don't want food from the buffet.
Sure, sure. Yeah, there's someone wandering around.
Yeah, I just like flag down a cup of black coffee. When they leave, I reach into the inside pocket of my suit coat, and I've got like a little flask. I tip it in. I offer her some.
Nah, not this early.
Sure. I light up a cigar. I have a sip of my coffee. And I say, so you've been here a long time?
Been here a while. You've asked me that before. Yeah, I've been here a while.
Yeah, but you didn't. There's a while, and then there's a while.
Like I said, put clocks in these places for a reason.
Yeah, but there's calendars.
Do you see a calendar around here?
Do I?
No.
No. Fair enough. What'd the carpet look like when you first showed up?
It's nasty.
Okay. And it was nasty then too.
It's always been nasty.
Lovely.
Just don't fall over and have to lick it. That's what they do to a few bums when they get a little off their rocker.
I don't think that's going to have to happen. And if it does, I'd like to see them try.
Yeah, you don't strike me as the kind of person that they could force their face down on that carpet.
No, but I might get a taste of something else instead. So you just, what's your deal? I don't have a better way to ask that question, so I'm just going to ask it that way.
What do you mean?
Story?
Story's not something I just share on a whim, good friend. What's your story?
What's my story?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be like relatively upfront about this. I don't have a lot of secrets. I say I'm a hungry guy and a hungry person. This is the kind of place I come to eat. And I'm hearing stories about what's going on in the city. People are telling me things. Power's loose. I'm hungry and curious. What can I say? That's my story. Been around a long time, but it's been a while since I've been here.
Interesting. I'm a gambler. That's what I do. I gamble for things.
So
This is a place that's real friendly to that. It's good, and I'm good at it. People
sure.
come in and they're hungry, not like you are, because it seems to me you're hungry with a capital H, and that's a little nerve making there. But they want something, they need something, and they're willing to gamble with almost anything. And I'll take those bets.
And like, what did you don't strike me as someone who's all that interested in money, Lisa.
Money's fun. Money works. Money has value to people. So sometimes I gamble for money. Sometimes I gamble for it. So I don't do money. I got chips.
Oh,
They're a symbol of money. That's what people like. They just like the idea of it. And people are willing to trade shit that they don't think has value.
are you trading or are you gambling? Because those are different things.
Oh, see, they think they're gambling, but they're really trading.
Okay, so you're not okay.
Oh no, I am a
now
gambler.
I understand. You're not gambling you're gambling like the casino's gambling.
Look, the house always wins.
That's not. I smile when she says that. Right now, there's been like this puzzle to me. Right, she didn't really seem to me like someone who was willing to risk losing. And now I hear it. Right? No, this is she's the casino. She's not a gambler.
Yeah. See, here's the thing: is I can tell that you don't you wouldn't be. You're not on my radar.
I'm not a
Like,
gambler, no.
no, 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 no. And I don't think you have what I'd want anyway. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, what do
At
you
least what
want?
I've collected. I don't know if I want it. It's just that I've fallen into these days.
What's that?
Well, it started out real dumb, and I managed to over time kind of accumulate more, and eventually more came to me. And then some started to come here because they were afraid of where they were going to go otherwise. And so they bet it to me.
But what
So,
is it? What is it?
oh, souls.
Oh, souls.
Yeah. People will bet their soul here. They don't think it means anything, and then they bet it to me. And then they pass on and they come here.
Introduce you to a friend of mine.
Always like to meet new people.
They like to play with souls too. I'm told where they're from.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything malicious with it. I'm not
No, I don't
like,
care.
yeah, no, no. Now I got a whole little lovely homemade underworld here. Whole little thing that I built, and it's a get out of hell free card for some people.
Yeah, so I'm
They just gotta put in the labor, and she'll point at the waitress who's come back with your coffee.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna do something. I'm going to I want to show her something. I'm like, I feel like you're telling me some stuff, but I think I want to show you who I am. I think that might be some of what I've collected, so to speak, over the years. And I'm going to tear away at my skin to reveal what remains of a slumbing harbinger. Um, uh, and I'm not going to say what it reveals, but I lean forward towards her, and my hand just like grabs onto the flesh of my face and starts to pull. And we'll see what gets revealed after my roll, if that's okay.
Sure. How many tokens do you want to spend on this?
Probably 2, but I just want to quickly see if at any point. No, I haven't done any of those things yet. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend 2.
Okay, and this is
This is the Do Harbingers Dream of Monsters Like Me.
okay.
It's the name of that move.
All right.
That is a 9.
That is a 9.
So on a 9, on a 10, 8 to 10, my body ripples in perfect sync with what remains of the Harbinger's power. And this is a Harbinger of jagged shadows and haunting whispers. And I think in some ways this is maybe like those little deaths, that Death Harbinger that we saw in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
This is and I think I pull the skin of my face off to reveal kind of nothing underneath. This is also what was his name? Void. Who was the harbinger from the library?
Oh,
Formless.
Formless, right?
Formless.
There's a little bit of formless in this harbinger that I consumed, right? I think it's like the vast emptiness of space calling out from my face to sort of revealing this part of me to her. And yeah, I'm uncovering a key at great cost.
So why don't you mark a condition as the cost?
I am happy to I'm happy to do that. That is awesome. Please. Eager. And And I think I'm embodying that condition right now, to be honest, but I'll hold back on taking tokens for it.
And she sees that. You see her kind of stop, kind of nods. She goes, when you came in, I thought you looked familiar.
Oh, we've met?
No, it's not like that. It's like this. And you see her reach into her sort of coat, and she pulls out this dog-eared paperback. And it's like it's titled The Bub from Manila. And it's like this pulp paperback, and you see this figure on the front that looks a lot like you. And you see, it's this pulp detective novel by Kilgore Trout. And she goes, yeah. This weird, like sci-fi fucked up monster detective, aren't you?
I take it from her, and I look at what's the publication date?
1973.
I flip through it. I just do a quick flip to get a sense of the plot or whatever.
This is a weird version of you. This is not you, but there's a few things in here that are like echoey of you.
Sure.
And I think you feel like the book has a kind of a gravity to it.
Right. But is it
touch it?
Is it also like something echoing that mystery that just happened in the past year that we did?
Like there are bits of it. Like it does like at one point you see the character go, yeah, I was in Manila. That was quite a time there. Had to fight a nun. That kind of thing.
There's there's a little bit of a timey-wimey thing going on here too.
Yeah.
Cool. I say, oh, I don't know who this Trout fellow is, or this is kind of I see the resemblance, right? I kind of pull my face back on, but the void is still very present in my eyes, I think. Yeah.
Are you here for the deck then?
Sure. Maybe I'm here for anything that's interesting. Any idea what that deck would taste like?
You want to eat it?
Maybe. I don't know. Would it taste good?
I don't think so, but I've never eaten a deck of cards.
Well, the deck, it's got power, right? It's got personality.
That's a question. I'm just trying to find out who has it, who's buying it, where's it going on. But you're not the only one who's looking around for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just always looking for new tastes. I'm around. I'm here with some friends. You hear anything? Maybe we can help each other out. I hear anything, I let you know. You hear anything, you let me know.
Sure. Sounds like we're on equal footing. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
You can keep that book.
Sure. Well, thanks. And I think I down the rest of my coffee. And I think wander back off into the casino for now to enjoy another taste of people's misery. But I'm happy to meet up with the rest of the crew at some point.
Okay.
I'm not going to hang out here forever.
Let's take our first break here. Let's come back with the battle in the laundromat. And see where we're at that point. So take 10 and we'll be back. So see this, you lean back against the door frame, and Vane, you are going to let loose on these dwarves. You're muted.
I'm going to cock and there we go. I'm going to cock an eyebrow and say, so where's Snow White? And I'm still spinning the spear in one hand.
Air is filled with steam as they charge forward en masse with a battle cry that doesn't sound like hi ho, but more like some sort of dwarven cuss. How many points do you want to spend on Unleash the Dark?
I'm going to spend 2. For some
Okay.
reason, I'm convinced 2 is the optimum number. This may be wrong or right. All right. Well, 6 plus 2 is 8.
8. So on an 8 to 10, you wield the darkness with control and ease. You get to choose 2 as these gangs of laundry dwarves attack. What do you want as your 2 picks?
I'm sorry, I don't have the move open.
Oh, sure. The first one under basic moves.
I do apologize. I should have had this open.
That's okay.
Basic moves. Okay, Unleash the Dark. I am going to. I think I'm going to get what I'm going to avoid reprisals, harm, or cost.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
you're
going
going
to get
to not take damage. And what is it you want? They are attacking you.
I want to make them all fall into each other.
So it seems like more what you're talking about is like causing confusion amongst them.
Yes, that works.
Okay. All right. So what does that look like? How do you send them like toppling and confused so they don't manage to lay a hand on you?
Well, the spear has been spinning in one hand, and I just kind of like stopped dead and just kind of goes up in this sweep that goes across basically a lot of kneecaps, and basically so they topple into each other.
Okay. So yeah, you will knock and confuse them back. Now, do you want to get out of here with this spear? You have the opportunity to do that.
Yes, I like the spear. I'm going to hang on to it.
Okay. So you kind of mosey, because I assume you don't run.
No, mosey.
Over to where Jose is, where Cetus is at. Sorry, Cetus. Vane does that. They are getting themselves rallied back together, and then are the 2 of you just taking off?
I have an idea I can't help but use.
Oh, good.
I think with his gin and tonic in one hand, and he raises his other hand, looking at the big front load laundry machines, and the doors pop open, and just the right size for a dwarf, each one of them.
Okay.
And then I think Cetus wants to try to fling the dwarves each into a laundry machine and shut the door on them.
I think that this is power through darkness, since you are essentially trying to neutralize a threat.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see what
how many
happens.
tokens do you want to spend?
Why don't I spend a couple?
Okay.
See what happens. It's a 9.
It is a 9. So I think it is beautiful. Like you're just drunk enough, just like that, just drunk enough that everything is easier. And with one gesture, all of the laundry doors come open, synchronized, and then and a slam.
And then he points at the buttons, and all the buttons go on.
And the 2 of you can wander out of here. Where do you want to go? Back up to the casino floor, or yeah?
Well, no, I think we found an interesting thing in this. Let's go hit another casino. That way we avoid any repercussions, that sort of thing. Let's just wander along. Let's like the Wolf Lodge, or I
There
don't
are,
want to go to Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest just sounds boring to me. But
It's the Red Rock,
there's a
or
Red Rock or Wolf Towers. You know that Beelzebub went to Wolf Towers.
oh, okay. Let's
Yeah,
hit Red Rock then.
if you want to meet up, we could all meet up at Red Rock.
Okay, let's meet up at Red Rock. Let's go to Red Rock.
So the two of you will wander up, out, onto the floor. You have that nice, fresh laundry smell to you. It gets in your clothes there.
steamed faces.
Yeah. And wander up through the beautiful glass and brilliant white and chrome of this place, and out onto the plaza again. Cool air will hit you. You realize, like, it's night now. You thought maybe it was earlier in the day, but it's night. And the cool night air will hit you. You'll see they're doing the fancy synchronized computer controlled water displays, so they spell words. Yeah, it's brilliantly done, and they've got little holograms and stuff as well. You'll see that there's sort of matching ones to each of these sort of sides of the facings of the plaza. So there's lots of the sort of Assassin's Creed symbology over on yours. You'll see over on the Sherwood Forest one, there's a little Robin Hood, like Friar Tuck and things like that. The Red Rock has sort of appropriated Native American imagery. And then it looks like most of the nozzles are kind of broken over on the Wolf Tower side of things.
Can I tuck the spear away in the same interdimensional space that I tucked my scythe?
Sure. You think the spearhead is probably the most important thing. The broom handle kind of just like
It's just a
falls
broom
out
handle.
of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I could just tuck the spearhead away if the broom handle is long essential.
Absolutely. And so the two of you will wander over. You communicated with Beelzebub, and so Beelzebub, you come wandering over to the Red Rock.
Yeah, I think in a unusually how do you pronounce that word? Ebullient.
Okay.
Like very good mood. I'm happy. I'm smoking my cigar. I don't even get mad when they make me stub it out coming into the Red Rock.
Yeah, they will say here, smoking is allowed in only designated areas of the casino.
Put it out. I don't complain.
Diesel, what's got you in such a good mood?
They have the best buffet at Wolf Towers.
Well,
you
fed.
wouldn't believe.
The way to your heart is definitely through your stomach, friend.
It's just, sometimes you have a meal and it's fantastic. Let's get going.
Okay, I'm sure we've got
a deck of cards to find. I fill them in, about the book, about the corpses, there's excuse me, about the book, about the corpses, about Lisa, right? There's definitely about what she told me in terms of confirming what the information we have, that there's a bunch of powers here. They're all looking for this deck.
We will tell you about encountering dwarves singing dwarves in a laundry and got this, and I'll hold up a bloody spearhead.
And I think Cetus has dropped his glamour now, and just looks like himself again, but in the purple frock coat.
Yes.
Still wobbling just a little bit, or maybe a little bit too ebullient from his gin and tonics.
Yeah. So we're in the lobby of the Red Rock, I guess.
So you'll walk into the lobby. It spreads out in all kinds of directions. There is rock and stone on everything. There are sliced cross sections of rock, some with fossils, some without, kind of in strategic places on the walls to mark out things, different colors, shades of that. The floor is done in a kind of brilliant stone that's been then polished. It's very cool in here. There's over the lobby, there is this lattice work of brilliant silver links in a kind of a maze that hangs down that connect up to the different big rock positions around. There's a great grand sort of brilliant stone staircase that splits and goes up to where the elevator banks are. The front desk is one great slab of rock on top of another piece of marble. You can see that immediately off one way. You walk down to a brilliant concourse of highly rated Michelin star restaurants. There's a brilliant tapas fusion cuisine restaurant on one side. There's a 10-year-old aged steaks place on another. They've got some guest pop-up Michelin star chefs doing things. You can see they've also got all the shops are kind of the high-end jewelry and homemade decorations and things like that. There's Cirque de Luna. They have regular shows for that. There's a whole theater built just for that. This whole place advertised itself as being powered by new energy, a new, more environmentally friendly approach to things. And it's all very high-end, glitzy, glamorous. And you are immediately, a greeter person comes over and greets you as you come in and says, can I help you? Are you checking in, or are you just here to peruse the facilities?
We're looking around.
Help yourselves. Allow me. I have paper, or if you like, I can point you to the app that will provide a map for the building if you'd like.
Map sounds good.
Holds
Like
up a
maps.
QR code and also hands you a paper in case you want to scan it into your phone, and says, please, I hope you will enjoy your time here at Red Rock. If you need anything, here's the service number and we'll have someone come down to assist you. Other thing I think you will notice, as I mentioned before, is there's a lot of appropriated Native American imagery.
I want to ask this greeter, I guess, some questions. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I say, listen, we're here, we're looking around, we hear I like gesture to come closer. I want to say it very quietly. We hear that this is the place to come where the high rollers play and they wheel and deal. The real high rollers, not like those people at the Wolf Towers.
Well, certainly if you're interested in private games or such like that, you could speak to the casino manager. They'll be glad to direct you to where you need to go. I'm sure they can assist you.
Yes, let's do that. I would love to do that. I'm going to be taking some darkness tokens for Eager.
Okay. And he'll point over to one of the casinos and he'll say, if you head in there and speak to one of the reception people, they'll direct you to the casino manager.
Fantastic. Vane, see this. Let's find where the real deals get made here.
Okay.
I'm following you all.
Everything here, also, they're clearly pumping Febreze in every so everything smells really good. They're clean. They've done all of that. Oh, hey, I'm going to pause the recording just 1 second here. So the three of you will head over to the casino there at the Red Rock. It has some fancy name, like Crimson Stone place or something like that. And one of the receptionists will direct you over, and this beautiful woman will walk over to where you're at. a tall Korean, impeccably dressed, and she will say, "Hello, I understood that you had an inquiry regarding the casino."
Yeah, we want to know where the big action happens. You know, we got some money, we got some interests, and we wanna see who you got here that might know something about what really happens in this town, and who might want to take our money.
And you see her kind of look, and she does an assessment. She says, "Well, let me make a call if you wait here for just one moment." And she'll gesture for a waitress to come over and say, "This gentleman will take your drinks order on the house. Let me make that call, and I'll be right back with you." And they come. This waiter comes over and says, "What can I get the three of you?" And you know, uh, you ask for whatever you want, and they will bring it to you very quickly, no questions asked.
Yeah.
And you'll see this casino manager walk over to her desk. See her kind of Bluetooth talk. She looks back at you. She nods, and she will come back to where you are, and she says, "Mr. Fire has said that he would love to meet with you and perhaps direct you to the kind of game that you're looking for."
He sounds important.
Love to meet Mr. Fire.
He is. I've printed out an elevator pass key, and she'll hand it to you, Beelzebub, and she'll say, "If you take this and go over to the main restricted elevator and use this there, it will take you up to Mr. Fire's suite."
We get to use a special elevator. Awesome.
See this, you don't sound like someone who just won a lot of money,
I did win a lot of money.
but you are.
But I am.
Was there anything else that I could do for you?
I'm good. I'm ready to get in that elevator. I don't know about you folks. So meet Mr. Fire and see what he's got to tell us.
And you
It'd be
three
interesting.
will head towards the private elevator up to Mr. Fire's private suite. Let's check in, though, with Samson. Samson, you kind of separated yourself off from the others last time. They're in the Animus, the Assassin's Creed Experience casino. And you had that encounter with Hildy, who seemed to be a Valkyrie and who warned you off from stealing any souls around here. What are you up to?
So I think I have looked around here with the Valkyrie, and I think I actually spoke to Death, if I recall, in the last scene.
Yeah.
And I was actually looking to see, if I'm not mistaken, something was coming for us. Is that right?
Well, what happened, the thing, you kind of certainly got that feeling of some pressure. But the action that was happening was Vane got taken by security down back behind the sort of the scenes, and then Vane and Cetus beat up some dwarves in a laundromat and then left. Perhaps you want to grasp a key, look around, try to find something out, or do you have something specific you want to do?
Oh, I think I want to talk to, what was the Valkyrie's name again?
A Hildy.
I think I'd like to talk to Hildy.
Okay.
And see what I can potentially see if I can glean any information from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go ahead.
no. So you can track her down. Again, striking that sort of fuchsia pink hair. You know, difficult to determine her ethnicity. Dressed to kind of impress. And you've wandered around and now kind of come back, and you'll cross paths with her again, and she will say, "Greetings again to you, Deathbringer."
So tell me more about what brought you to this place as opposed to where you originated from. This seems like an odd place for you to go gathering.
And you can see that she's a little put off, and she says, it is still a thing that I carry out my duty here. This is my Valhalla, though it is built in beams of thought and light and electricity, but it does its job, and it collects the Einherjar that are needed.
But why this place as opposed to others?
It is this place. It is a place that has this power. It is a place where people willingly enter into these timeless battles.
Battles with themselves?
With themselves and with others in these recreations. As doggerel and watered down as they are, they catch the fragment of what's left of a warrior spirit in these people, and I gather it up for what is needed.
And do you find this to be satisfying?
It is not a question of satisfying. It is a question of duty. It is a question of doing what needs to be done.
And I think now I'm going to grasp for keys to see if I can't glean anything from her about, again, the direction. Why is she searching here? There's something significant about that.
Why don't you make a roll for me?
Yeah.
How many tokens do you think you want to spend?
I'm going to spend one, and if you don't mind, I'm going to roll physical dice.
Please do.
Yeah. So I got 7 plus 1 is 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me think here. What a good key ear is appropriate in this case. So I think that she kind of maybe gets a little bit frustrated. Like there's clearly something that she's trying not to talk about, like some part of this duty that maybe she's embarrassed or bothered by, I think, in this. And she will go to say something when she like stops because she hears something in her little earpiece, and you hear her go, "In the laundromat? What?" And she will turn to you and go, "I have to go." And she walks away like at a rush, kind of quickly. And I think that you will notice that she drops a casino chip that she kind of had gripped in her hand as she was talking with you. And you'll pick it up. And I think you will see a sigil there. And this casino chip is worn and kind of old. It actually feels to you as you look at it like maybe it's carved from bone. And I think you will see that there is a sigil, a rune on there that you instinctively know is the rune for Ragnarok.
Oh.
And that you can tell that this is a sigil not for Ragnarok coming, but Ragnarok has already come and gone. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, fascinating.
Hey, I'm going to come back to the other three, and then we're going to work on like moving the full group together. Unless, would you like me to bring like Samson into the three of you heading up? Would that be okay? Samson, that you get a call. The other three are heading to the Red Rock. Would you join them?
And I tell them, I've actually got a lot of news for you about what's going on here. I'll meet you in the Red Rock. You say you're going upstairs.
Hurry!
Yeah, we got it. We're heading up to the manager's suite. So
We're gonna meet Mr. Fire.
we only got one key though. So
Run.
Actually, I have a move that I think will let me get there quickly.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes. I can call upon my ghostly agent, Jamie Corver,
Okay.
and walk through the veil between the living and the dead, take their hand, and physically travel, appearing anywhere that death can touch. So,
Is that rolled or is that just a happens?
it is rolled. It is
Okay.
rolled.
Let's
And I
have
think in
you
that
roll.
case, I think I will spend. Let me see. I think I'm going to take a couple of tokens for my lonely condition, and then I'm going to turn around and spend those 2 tokens. And I rolled a 6 and a 1, so that's going to be a 9.
Okay.
And what that does is I take their hand and travel physically through the veil. And I can take another with me if I mark into condition.
Okay. So the others go up through a super fancy elevator and you walk through the veil. And I think for you, as you do that, Samson, you'll feel yourself getting closer to something that is warmer and warmer, hotter and hotter, like more and more potent. And if it's okay, but I kind of hard frame sort of you stepping out of the veil, ghostly, just as the ding for the elevator happens, and Cetus, Beelzebub, and Vane kind of step out, and it's the 4 of you.
And I think that as I step through the veil, I think they're, from my perspective, I feel hands grasping at me and pulling at me as if they're trying to keep me from going where I need to go.
and you will all arrive. It is a luxury suite. It's done in steel and glass and polished marble, but kind of dark polished marble. There's none of the sort of the natural stone that you saw downstairs. There's none of that here, except there's a big sort of table slab at the center of this suite, kind of right in the middle, that's kind of oddly discolored. And you will see, seated by where the big glass windows that look out onto Vegas, you will see this tall gentleman, handsome, athletic, freckled, beautiful faced, beautiful beard, hair's kind of strategically greasy, in that kind of just got out of the shower look kind of way, and just golden eyes. And he will stand up as the four of you come in, and he will say, "Greetings to you. Come in, you four."
Hello.
Hello.
I would like, if people are okay with it. I know other people. Other people haven't been a while since they've made a move, so if someone else wants to do something first, but at some point in this conversation, my first overture in it, I would like to remember the taste of this person.
Ooh, I think that's a fine way to start.
Yeah, one of the remnants in me recognizes Mr. Fire. Then, and then let's roll. I'm going to use. I think. What happens if I go overboard on this one? Oh no, that's amazing. I like that much better. I haven't gone overboard. I'm gonna spend 3.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's have you make that roll.
Yeah, that's a 12.
Okay.
So on a on an 11 plus, the sight of them drives the remnants within me into a frenzy. Choose one. You offer them a part of you to feed on. Gain 1 bond with them. They will one day kill the hunger within you. Mark 1 ruin. And I think, the keeper will tell you something significant and valuable even on a miss. Yeah. I think the I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna walk up, approach him as closely as I can. Get my face real close to his if he'll let me. If not, as close as he
He
will let me.
has no fear of you.
Yeah, I get my face real close to his, and I say, I think a part of me tasted a part of you once. Would you like a taste in return? And I roll up and offer him my arm.
If you wish to gift me that, I will take it. Everyone has had a taste of what I have given. But
Then,
yes, if you will.
yeah. So I offer him sort of my arm, but he can take a bite from anywhere he likes.
He lays his hand on your arm, and it explodes in burning hot white fire that evaporates almost instantaneously in the air, sears through, and that is how he consumes it.
Yeah. Is there an arm there now?
Yeah, you still have your arm. He just, like, he vaporized the very blood from the bite, and
Yeah.
you will recognize Prometheus.
Prometheus himself. Yeah. Is that the significant and valuable thing, his identity?
Yes.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's powerful, I say.
Please come and sit down, relax. What has brought this quartet of strangeness to my door. You, devil demon that I do not know your name, please speak.
Is that me?
Yes, you.
Yes. Here to see what your casino has to offer us.
My casino has much to offer. We have a variety of delights. What is it you want?
I am looking for a doorway. Do you have doorways in your casino?
There are many doorways in our casino. Perhaps you're looking for the gatekeeper.
That sounds very intriguing indeed.
He stands late on the path of the Arcana. Perhaps he is wandering about here somewhere.
Very well.
Perhaps we could cut a deal. I could help you find that way, and you could help me find what I want.
Perhaps I'll wander about a bit myself.
No need to commit early.
No, no need.
And you, my marbled friend, I do love stone. It's an irony.
Mr.
What do you
Fire.
want?
So Cetus has become serious in he picked up from Beelzebub the identity of this person. I heard stories about you being chained to a rock, getting your liver eaten. How did you escape, sir? You look whole right now. Actually, you look quite healthy, even beautiful.
Some things are an illusion, and he'll gesture, and you realize that he does. I mean, his shirt is kind of open to here, but is definitely covered down below. He says it took some time, but they played with things that they should not play with, and it created cracks. And over time, I was able to slip those chains, though I bear it as a memory. And the place where I slumbered still exists. And he'll gesture to that slab with the red on it.
And Cetus steps forward and puts out his hand to the spot where the vultures, I believe they were vultures, used to
Yes.
feed on his liver, and says, I know what it feels like to be imprisoned by lesser beings.
I know you do.
And I think I want to use the move, let's see, which is, you can't hide your heart from me.
Okay.
Let's see, and I will take, let's see, let me just look at that move 1 second really quickly. What happens if I get too much? Oh, that's cool. I'll take a couple.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, it's a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me just see what the 7 is. Oh, no, I don't want to break the mind and heart of the one I'm connecting with. Let me use a bond.
Sure.
I'm going to use the bond with what the darkness demands of me, because Cetus is trying to find information about his mom here,
Mm-hmm.
and that he believes Prometheus has. So that'll bring me up to an 8.
And so, what is it that you want to ask from reaching out and touching this?
Who or what do you love above all else?
He loves himself in a profound way, in a way of only a person who believed truly that they were doing good and then were not rewarded for it can turn their backs on people and look inside. That sense of the person who believes they're beneficent and privileged and don't get the kind of response that they expect from children like the humans, that they turn and become the other way and become reckless and destroying and love themselves above others. But there is a second thing in there, a perverse love that he hides away as well. And you can see that there's someone else as well that he has a passion for, but he buries it away.
Can't quite reach it.
Right. What's your second question?
How can I make you trust me?
That's a really interesting one. He wants he needs to know that you consider yourself above humans, that you are not human at all, that you have turned your back on humanity, like seeing something of that in a demonstrable way will make him trust you. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think there is a bit here, as you're kind of touching that, flashing, like there is a moment where you see him, hugely tall, naked, chained to this slab, and you see a figure, coming down, and it's a vulture and it's a person, and you see them. Sometimes they peck out with their beak, and sometimes they have a knife and a fork, and they dine. And I think you will recognize that you've seen the vulture before, and you recognize Geyer,
Oh.
the person who brought you here in the first place. Samson, let me come to you before we...
Can I respond to that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think Cetus lets his hand slide around Prometheus's waist, Mr. Fire's waist, and leans in and says, "The Olympian gods have done us both wrong in their love of mortal kind. Help me, and I will help you." We could cut there if you want.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because he'll pull you a little bit closer, and he is warm and he smells so good. Samson, kind of are there here this exchange with Vane and with Beelzebub, and you see Cetus kind of step closer and speak quietly with Mr. Fire, with Prometheus. What are you doing?
Yeah. So what I've seen so far is I've seen Mr. Fire steps forward and takes a bite out of Beelzebub, and then promises to give Vane whatever they want in exchange for something. And he's, I think he's kind of granting people what they want. And I step forward, and I think that Mr. Fire kind of is leaning towards one side of Cetus.
Mm-hmm.
And I step up to the other side, and I rest a hand on his shoulder in a friendly manner. And I lean over to Cetus and I say, this one knows a lot about temptation. He's tempting you and trying to lead you down a path that takes you further from us. And we both know what it's like to be isolated. And I think our host here may be trying to push his isolation onto us. He has something he wants from us. Cetus?
You're saying this out loud?
Oh yeah. In front of him.
In front of him?
But I'm only looking at you.
Are you perhaps there, Samson, maybe revealing your heart to Cetus here in this moment?
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a good way to handle that.
Okay. How many tokens do you want to spend on that?
I will spend 2. And let me roll.
Okay.
Ooh. That is a 5 total.
That is a 5. So you would have to burn 3 bonds.
And I don't think I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Let's see what it looks like if I don't.
I think that Prometheus goes, shush. And he does this with his fingers, and his hand just brushes you, Samson, and you go flying backwards and out through the glass of the windows there, and tumbling down towards the ground below. Mark a condition.
Okay.
Oh, and you get to mark XP on a miss. So,
Ooh.
Beelzebub, what do you do when that happens?
So I missed the very so he just goes and the result was
Samson goes flying back through the air, shatters through the plate glass window that looks out over Las Vegas, and goes tumbling down towards the plaza below.
I give Prometheus a disappointed look, and my eyes are still those void eyes, right? Like I haven't. That transformation hasn't gone away, and I don't think. Hold on. What power do? What are my powers here? Corrupting touch, haunting aura. None of those are terribly useful to me here, is the truth.
That is true.
But I think I'm just gonna dive out the window anyway.
Okay.
And see what I can do to help Samson.
So Samson, you now realize you're falling through the air, and it's an unusual feeling. It's probably not a feeling you've had before. And then you see Beelzebub leap out and start kind of falling behind you from the top of this building. Before we figure out what's going on there in this tableau, Vane, what do you do?
Well, I cannot fly as far as I know, so I will leave that to the people that can fly. I'm going to look at Prometheus and I'm just going to go, you're not so tough. And I'm going to, oh, neither of you can fly. Well, I'm not going to add to the mixture. Hurling myself after too. And that's that. And I'm gonna pull the scythe out and just kind of stamp it once on the ground as though I am challenging this ancient god, which just seems so stupid.
He looks at you and he says, "So you don't want to go home?"
Oh man. Yeah, and you see Vane visibly hesitate. Oh, And then she just kind of shakes it off and goes, "Not at that cost," and just bring him back.
I'm sorry, do you want me to bring them back?
Yes.
No, 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 no. They've made their choice and they can live with it.
I don't think they're going to live with it.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
I guess we will. And I'm going to scowl and stomp over to the window and
Okay.
peer out to see what's going on.
Cetus, what do you do? You're muted. Oh,
I'm
there you
muted.
go.
Sorry about that. I am considering that. Would it be possible to take a break and then come back to find
Absolutely.
out what I do?
Let's take 5 as Beelzebub and Samson are plummeting to the
plummet.
floor below.
For what it's worth, I do have an idea of what I'm doing as I jump out the window to help.
Well, we'll
Excellent.
come back
them,
to Samson and Beelzebub on that
Perfect.
after Cetus goes. So we'll take 5 here.
Sounds good.
So, Cetus, you've seen this sort of showdown confrontation between Vane and Prometheus. Prometheus has casually flicked Samson out the window, and Beelzebub has leapt afterwards. What do you do?
I think Cetus's hand continues around Prometheus's waist and pulls him in and says, "Don't be distracted by the others." And I'm going to use my ruin move.
Ooh.
One of my ruin moves, anyways. Where do you end and where do I begin? You know that the heart is such a strong and fragile thing. When you know the desire or emotional state of an NPC, you may touch them and alter it and mark 1 ruin. So I will mark 1 ruin. And I will the love, the hidden love, the perverse hidden love that was referred to, I will bring it to the center and change its target to me.
Okay. And you will pull that forward and you will see his longing, loving glances at Geyer as Geyer consumes him, and that shifts, and you see him look at you and he takes you in his arms and he pulls you close and he says, "Yes, you and I. Are you with me?"
I'm with you, brother.
Do not call me brother. I would be closer than that to you. We'd be good friends, as they say amongst the Greeks.
My Erastes.
Yeah, but you can tell, like, he looks at you with that sort of just consuming intensity. Let's come to Beelzebub and Samson, and then we'll come back to the penthouse. Samson, let's start with you. You're falling.
Okay, so the thought that I have in mind, I think that Samson is falling, sees Beelzebub jump out after him, and Samson kind of angles himself so that he catches the wind next to the building.
Okay.
And is going to angle into the building.
Okay.
So that he smashes into it. And I'm super strong. I'm going to basically just kind of carve my way into that building to slow down the fall.
All right. That you have, let's look at your things. You have you have supernatural strength and speed. Let's have you power through darkness.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll spend 2 tokens.
Okay.
Let me roll that. That's a 6, a 2. That's 10.
10. So you will, we see you turn, flatten, and do that kind of Tom Cruise sky pivot in towards the building, and then smash into the side of it, and your fingers will dig deep in and kind of grab with purchase there. And I think if you want, you can reach and grab Beelzebub easily.
Yeah. So I think the way I see this is I think I'm actually using with one arm and I'm causing all sorts of destruction in the building, like windows, and the wall is,
Hulk style
and...
slash down the side of the building. Yeah.
Right. I think I'd grab a hold of Beelzebub. Beelzebub, what did you want to do? I don't want to take over.
No, this is better. I like this better. Because my plan was to do something similar to rescue you, but I like this so much better. Because I think as you grab my wrist, right, and hold it and like keep me hanging, I say, I think this happened backwards. Probably should have just let you do this and stayed up there with them, shouldn't I have? As we're like, I imagine like you're like shredding the wall of the casino as we're like slowly decelerating, right?
Yeah, and I think that there are screams from the people down below as glass and debris kind of filters down, rains down on them.
Yeah, I think this is making me hungry, actually. I think I had all of this energy built up and all of this, but like this is stressful. And I'm like a little bit, I want to say, disappointed. And I say, this is maybe not a great moment, Samson, but how are you feeling right now?
I'm kind of off put. I'm a little angry.
A little angry, maybe a little upset, maybe a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Can I get a sip of that?
Are you asking permission?
I am asking someone to feed me a part of themselves. Yeah, yes. So at the very least, I'm taking darkness tokens. But if you say yes, then we'll see what happens. And this is all happening while we're in motion. I think I'm like angling my body closer to yours, right? Maybe putting like feet on the wall or something, or like my just sort of like, so I'm not just hanging down from you, but like actually sort of like I imagine this is all happening like with pretty fast action, right?
Yeah, it's very chaotic. I think whatever you ask Beelzebub, I say, take what you need.
Yeah, and I do.
Okay. How many tokens do you want to spend?
I want to spend, what's the most I can spend? Is it 3 or 4?
3.
I want to spend 3.
Okay.
3 I just earned. And roll 2d6. Hold on. Somehow or another lost the dice flare, the dice roller, but it's back. And that is a 10.
That is a 10. So you blunt the worst edges of your hunger and feed only as much as you need. What do you want to make as your pick?
So I don't really want to clear a condition, but I do want my whole form to become more human. I already have tons of bonds with him. You know what? Whatever. I'm not going to get to that clock is not going to fill anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So I think what happens is my form becomes more human. I think my eyes become human again, right? That void glow that was in my eyes from the harbinger that I revealed before it comes out. I think the way my face had appeared as a mask on my body because I had pulled it off and kind of put it back a little bit. So if you look closely, you can see there was something kind of off there, right? It heals and it just looks like a human face again. And I am going to remove the hunger condition eager, but I'm going to keep yearning.
Okay.
as I think, like, because now I'm more human, I feel a little bit more fragile, right? And I try to pull my body in a little bit closer, just for like protection to Samson, right? I'm like looking for Samson to do more of that work of breaking against the building, and I'm a little bit more vulnerable, I think.
And I think Samson kind of almost embraces you, like I'm protecting, a child or something I care for.
Nice. Let me come back up to Vane. Vane, it's almost like Prometheus has forgotten you're even there.
And I'm kind of torn because it's clear Cetus does not want to be bothered. And when I look out, I can see.
Oh yeah, they have scratched their way down a good third of the building, and they look like they're safe.
I'm gonna look for something to smash. I'm sorry. This is my
Trying to
reaction to
smash? Are
this
you grasping
frustrating.
for keys here and smashing things?
Yes.
Okay, let's have you roll.
And I'm going to smash something first in order to gain a couple of darkness tokens before I
Perfect.
grasp the keys. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to spend 2 on this roll. So that would be 12 altogether with the
Okay.
+2.
Yep. So I think that, let me look here. I think that you will see on the desk, and it's striking to you. It's clearly something that's kind of sitting on Prometheus's desk there, but his attention is so on Cetus. You will see that there is a deck of cards, and you look at it, and it's weird. It's a deck of like Pokemon and Magic and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but the people had someone has drawn in various different hands little reworkings of the pictures on them.
Okay.
To make kind of a mock tarot deck out of these cards. Like it has those 4 suits that I mentioned before, the suit of chains, the suit of knives, the suit of trees, the suit of beasts, and it has major arcana there. They're not named, but they're sort of abstract figures there. I think you will recognize one of them. There's like a Pikachu, but it's got this weird little gesture that's doing it. It's opening a gate, and it's like someone has Pokemon'd the gatekeeper major arcana here. And you can grab and pocket that if you wish.
I absolutely am grabbing that and pocketing it.
Are you taking off then, or are you staying to?
I want to find. I'm going to let Cetus and Prometheus get a room, and I'm going to go down to where Beelzebub and Samson are if I can get there.
Okay. Yeah. So you will take off. Cetus. Vane leaves. You and Prometheus are alone.
So I think Cetus leans into the embrace, and you see him, because when he uses this ruin move, my understanding of it is he also feels the feeling that he amplifies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's getting caught up in the passion that Prometheus feels, and for him, for Geyer, but really for Geyer, but now for him,
right?
So I think there's a way that Cetus leans into that, and so I imagine an embrace, and also this kind of melting of Cetus's form a bit as he loses control a bit, and maybe a little bit of melting of the form of Prometheus, so that he's more flame and less humanoid. But I think one small part of Cetus is actually going to grasp for keys within this merged state with Prometheus to try to figure out something about this mystery.
Okay.
So what they're called mysteries right now.
Yeah. So how many tokens do you want to spend?
Let's see. I've got 4 right now, so I will spend 1. It's an 8.
That is an 8. So let me look at that. So I think that there is kind of a moment I'm going to kind of montage a little bit here forward, and then we'll come back.
Mhm.
And I think it is a bit later, and I think it is you getting up from the bed and kind of walking quietly out and looking, and I think you will see that there is a set of splatters on a desk that's kind of off to the side, that's away from this plain stone table and through from Prometheus's desk there, but it's kind of like an art table. And you know how when you paint or spray and stuff, you get that kind of outline of the pages, sort of edges that cuts at that. And I think you will see that it is a surface that is splattered with strange inks and paints of unusual colors. Like, you can tell as you touch them that these are weird and unique and unusual, and they are the tools of an artist crafting something.
Okay. So strange inks and paints of a crafting artist.
Yes. Vane, let's bring you and Beelzebub and Samson together. I think you will see that security guy out front of the Red Rock.
The one from the wolf from the other place.
Yeah, though he looks younger. And he's kind of outside directing traffic away in different directions. Like, there's been an accident, you know, people clear it, you know, they're giving away complimentary tokens to people. It doesn't look like anyone was injured, but people are freaked out, and they're kind of like clearing the area and like giving out comps to people to get them calmed down and that kind of thing, as you and Samson and Beelzebub can kind of meet up there.
Okay.
May I? So I want to narrate a little bit about what it looks like whenever I leave the side of the building.
Sure.
So I think I started to come down, and I'm just going to shove off and fall the rest of the way, or jump down the rest of the way.
Okay.
And I think the cover here is, you know, I think the police are like, it was a jumper, you know, don't worry about it, you know, we'll take care of it. But I think I'm able to land fine because I slowed the fall and everything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, what do you do with me? Because you were holding me there.
Yeah, I think I basically I make sure that I hold on to you, and I make sure that you don't take any of the fall or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not that fragile, Samson. I say with pettiness.
I then kind of lean over and let you stand up on your own and everything. Well, I just wanted to put that scene out there so that Vane could rip off
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, Vane, you see them kind of drop down a ways away from where all of the noise and hubbub is going on, and probably maybe even land in one of these fountains close by the building, and you can wander over to where they are.
And I'm going to go up to them and I'm going to kind of look around to make sure nobody's watching. I'm going to go, look at this. And I'm going to take that deck and I'm just going to shuffle it, do one of those kind of fancy shuffles real fast. And go, it was on Prometheus' desk. And then I'll just tuck that away in a different pocket than the spear.
Careful.
I take it you are alive, both of you, or sort of, whatever.
As much as we were.
As much as you were.
Alive and kicking.
Kicking.
I grumble. I say like, gruffly, not enthusiastically.
All right. Well, Cetus is dealing with Prometheus in his own fashion. Then I'll leave it at that.
I'm annoyed about how that went with Mr. Fire with Mr. Fire. I say, I'm like, that did not go the way we wanted it to go. I still have the elevator key, right?
Say it again.
I still have the. I'm asking Lowell now. I still have the elevator key, right?
Yes, you have. It's his electronic pass, so you assume that it's probably decomped at this point.
Yeah, because I would.
How do you feel it could have gone better? I mean, like, what could we have done to make it go better?
I could have not jumped out that window for starters.
I just hope Cetus is okay.
Oh, I'm resolving to let you folks take care of yourselves from now on.
Fine.
You seem perfectly capable of it. I sometimes forget.
Vane, you were saying?
Mm-hmm. I just was saying I was pretty sure Cetus was okay. But we could go up and check on him. And
do you think he wants us to check on him?
I don't know.
Where'd you leave him?
Timed it for like half an hour or so. I don't know.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that Mr. Fire doesn't want us there anymore. Doesn't want me there.
Well, I gotta say, I don't really want to deal with Mr. Fire because there's going to be a point where he dangles that gate in front of me and I'm just going to go fuck it and dive on through. So let's not go talk to him too much.
Is there a reason not to? I thought, don't you want to go through that? Isn't that this is what you keep talking to me about, Vane?
Yeah, but there's always a catch to these things. There's always a catch. It's usually a big one.
You
the more
should do it.
You want it.
Is it what you want? Is it what you want, Vane? You should do it. I really think you should do it. That's more tokens for asking someone to give into their hunger.
And you can see Vane just kind of pacing around, clearly like on the edge.
Vane,
about all of this.
Vane, that's why I'm worried about Cetus. Is there's always a cost, and I don't know what Cetus's cost is going to be. Maybe he'll get the upper hand with Mr. Fire, but I don't want to see you in that situation.
Well, is there a way to retrieve Cetus without going up to see Mr. Fire? Let's talk to Cetus in our heads in the way that we have learned that we can. And I just Cetus in the middle of something in your head. It just goes knock knock in a really kind of loud, obnoxious way.
Bane, are you all right?
Yeah, we're all fine down here. We're wondering how you're doing.
I'm just finishing up here. I'll be down in a moment.
All right. And I don't know if the other two heard this, but I will say he says it'll be just another moment.
And I think I want to say, if I can do a little quick scene
Yeah.
there. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Time operates very differently in different places here. So but for you, it may have been a while.
Yeah.
For them, it's just been a few minutes kind of thing.
um, I think we see Cetus after the paints, seeing the paints. Um, uh, he feels drawn. You see him like walking into back into the bedroom where Prometheus is asleep, and I think he goes to a cabinet where there is it's a glass cabinet because everything's very pristine up here, and the cabinet, he opens it without touching it, and then from it emerges like a scarf, like a super beautiful white ethereal scarf that moves through the air. And he just looks at it and he lets it twine around his arm and he says, I believe you belong to Mother. And he takes it with him as he walks out back to the elevator to go down to meet his friends.
I like the idea that maybe as you go by, we do see into that cabinet that there are a variety of other odd objects,
Artifacts.
anachronistic and so on in there, just as at a glimpse of that. As Cetus comes down to rejoin Beelzebub and Samson and Vane. Elevator opens.
Cetus is in his purple frock coat with the scarf around his neck now. Walks out. Says, did you two survive the fall okay?
Oh, yeah. That was never a concern. Did you survive Mr. Fire okay?
I think I'm all in one piece. We'll see what happens when he wakes up. I knew you could take care of yourselves. Right, Beethel?
I'm just like scowling through this whole conversation. Very unhappy with how vulnerable this whole thing has made me.
And I think we'll see the four of you kind of maybe move away from the elevator and maybe move back down closer to that casino, that beautiful casino that you were at with the manager that you spoke with before, Beelzebub. And I think all of you will feel a rumble in the air. And just for a second around you, you'll see everything stop for just a moment, and everyone goes, every person, year, worker, gambler, tourist, whatever, for just a second, they're all flat and two-dimensional for just a flicker of a second, like a drawing of a person flattened. And then from the back of the casino, you'll start hearing this sound, and it rolls forward like a wave of bells as like every bell in here, every slot machine, every bell of it rings sort of in a wave going down sort of simultaneously as they all hit at the same time of just all of the bells in the casino going off. And you'll see people grabbing up their winnings. You'll see them grabbing up those coins and grabbing them and putting them in their pockets, filling their pockets, everyone hitting the jackpot. And then they all sit down again and they all start putting the coins in again. And that is the tick of the doomsday clock as the mission proceeds forward. And that is where we are going to stop tonight, where we will take up next time for the final part of this case. You are at, right now on the mystery map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keys. So we've got a nice handful of keys to be gained next time before we move to open the door. There's still people to find, to meet. You haven't met the magician of Sherwood Forest, and there are other figures around and about. So that's what we will take up. Let's do end of session XP. Let's see. Vane. Let's see. Did you fight against the prophecy that haunts you? I think you rejected going back.
Well, one sec, Lowell.
Yeah.
I actually should have taken a new move because I leveled up last
good.
time and didn't notice. So can I clear and start anew, and I'll pick that new
100%.
Okay, I figured. All right. So did I fight against the prophecy? Yes.
Yes. Mark a
Yes.
XP for that. Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Yes.
Yes. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
I learned that actually someone could offer me the gate and I didn't go through the way that I thought I would. So
The
I'm
way
still
you
not
said
feeling.
you would.
Yeah,
The way you
yeah.
felt you
So,
would.
yeah.
Yeah. Mark an XP. Did you
Okay.
learn something significant about a fellow monster?
Yes, I learned that two of my friends can jump out a window and not die. And I learned that Cetus is happily willing to get it on with ancient Greek gods. So yeah, all sorts of revelations.
All right. Mark an XP for that. Cetus, did we hit your XP question?
I think we may have. Did you use the emotions
Oh,
of another to
yeah.
create a cruel advantage?
100%.
Yeah, I think I got that one.
Yes, especially since Mr. Geyer is probably still hanging around the area too for you to work with as well.
Uh-huh.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
I think my monstrous nature in letting my friends plummet to their death.
Yeah.
And certainly my humanity is always on my sleeve. So
Yes.
yeah.
Mark XP for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin? I think that scarf at the very least. I think that's
Right. I did find out something about my mommy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster? By the way, Prometheus counts as a monster in this case.
Oh, well, in that case, if he's a monster, then I definitely learned something about him. Lots
Mark
of things.
an XP.
Okay.
Samson, do you know what you would have picked for your XP question?
Yeah. Did you find something or someone worth living for? And I don't think I did that.
Okay. Though on the other hand, I think you're interfering there, stepping in with Cetus. I mean, you were worried about him, right?
I was, and I think that's the next one, which is, did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
Okay.
I think it was my humanity, expressing worry about my compatriots and friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mark an XP for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
So the condition that I took was vicious, and that's why I described the destruction of the building and all of that, and kind of a little bit of uncaring about the situation. So I think I learned that, I'm capable of destruction when pushed.
Yeah. I think that's superly reasonable. And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I did. Beelzebub would jump out a window for me.
Yes. Unexpected and delightful.
Know that they regret it. They were just over eager in that moment. That condition is now cleared.
Yeah. Beelzebub, did we hit your XP trigger?
Yes, I found a willing person to feed on. I had been hoping it would be someone else, but that was who it turned out to be.
Yeah. Well, you got it from there from Samson. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you express your monstrous nature and or your humanity?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah. Mark XP for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and or your impending ruin?
I mean, I guess I learned that under the right conditions, I would jump out a window for Samson. Like, I'm not sure that was something I knew before.
Yeah, that's kind of unexpected for you in some ways.
Yeah, I was trying to play out the condition a little bit, and I think that there was, we'd had some moments. And I had and I don't. I'm still thinking about what that meant exactly, but yeah, it happened.
Yeah. And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I learned something significant about a fellow monster. I mean, I also learned that Vane would bizarrely choose not to go through that door.
Yeah, that's a weird, like, you didn't expect that.
Nope, very much not.
Awesome. So let's do a quick stars and wishes. Wishes, especially we have our ultimate session next time. Vane, stars, wishes.
Oh, stars to everyone. I mean, I'm going to be, my wish is that the game never ends. No, I think that was a lot of fun. And there was more dice rolling in this session than by far than in any other, it felt like. But no, going out the window was just a kind of like major high point while Cetus lingered with Prometheus will just stick with me for the memories of this game. So stars all around for lovely play as always. And to you, Lowell, for a good game.
Awesome. Anything wishes wise?
It would be nice if we get it. Well, I don't know. I don't know what you have planned for the last session. It
Okay.
would be kind of fun to go have a last moment at headquarters. But on the other hand, I trust you to do a last session that will be awesome. So
Okay.
whatever.
Cetus.
Stars to everyone. That was a really fun session. Stephen, I'm so glad you made it. We were missing you, and you didn't hear it, but we all cheered when you came on because your audio wasn't connected yet. So it was great to have you here, and great how you just stepped into playing Samson right away. And I really liked how you stepped forward to try to intervene for Cetus. That was very much in character. And I'm sorry you got pushed out a window, but it made for some great drama on the way down. So stars for that. Kat, thank you for the laundry room scene. I would have never been able to throw dwarves into some industrial washing machine if it hadn't been for you. So that's gonna stick with me. And Beazle, I'm still really enjoying kind of this grumpy and almost, I don't know just if Cetus is naive about the friction between the two of us, but there's something about it that's really enjoyable for me. The friction between our characters, and who knows, maybe it'll come to some kind of a head next session. I don't know if that's a wish or not, but it might be fun to have something a little more confrontational. Yeah, in terms of wishes for the last session, more of the same. As Kat said, I trust you, Lowell, to guide us well. I think I don't want to resolve my mommy issues,
Okay.
necessarily, but I could, certainly maybe epilogue them a little bit, or
Yeah.
something that keeps it a little bit more open and mysterious.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good wish, is to say, hey, that's an element I'd like to leave maybe for the epilogue. I think that's a reasonable thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've got. Thank you so much.
Okay. Beelzebub.
Yeah, big stars to everyone. This was an awesome session. I really enjoyed it. I'm so happy, Stephen, that you made it in the end. Really enjoyed. I had thoughts about where I wanted some of these conversations to go, and where I would do something. This is what RPGs are great about, right? You come into a scene and you're like, I kind of want this to happen. And then someone else does something and it goes in a, not like it turns a corner, and you have, but it's so much more interesting than the track that your brain was going on. And so think Steven Sampson in this particular session like played that role for me. And it was great. I was like first I had a conversation I wanted to have with Mr. Fire, and then Samson antagonized him. And then I'm like, well, at least I could save Samson. And then Samson saved himself. And in both cases, the results were better than how it would have happened if it had just gone forward as kind of I had intended when I first acted. So I guess big stars to you for that, Stephen. Big stars to you, Lowell, for the I mean, all the NPCs were sweet. I love this setting. I love these characters. I really liked my one-on-one scene with Lisa. That was cool. I guess if I have a wish, maybe I'd like to see her again.
Okay.
I think that would be fun to have her come back. And then again, we talked about this before, Kat, but like not going through that door was cool. I mean, I know you, Kat, were not going to go through that door because there's another session left, but like, I felt like the way you played that with Vane was great. And I'm excited to see like what the ramifications for the character are. And likewise, Jose, Cetus and Mr. Fire was just loved it so much. In terms of like more other wishes, I'm like in a weird place where I've been playing this character for like almost 3 months now, and I still don't fully have my head wrapped around them. There's like kind of pendulum swinging back and forth.
Mhm.
I don't know where they're gonna land, and I like that. So I'm really kind of just want to play to find out what this last confrontation, this last sort of door is, and we'll see whether we'll see from there. So yeah.
Okay. I like that. And Stephen.
Yeah. Well, number one, thanks, Jesse, for leaning in whenever, we had, whenever I got thrown out the window, for leaning into, what I did, and, kind of taking, rolling with the punches as I narrated things that were unexpected. I thought it was super interesting that whenever Beelzebub satisfied his hunger by eating a piece of Samson, he became more human. It's almost like he took some life out of Samson to become more of a person, which is really neat. And thanks for putting up with me coming in late. I really appreciate it. It was a really good session. I really enjoyed it. And I really liked how Vane, wasn't sure exactly what to do with Cetus and Prometheus up in the room. And Kat, you just had her, I'm going to smash something, and I'm going to, look around, and found the deck. That was pretty awesome. And then flashed it at us later. Like, look what I found, and flashed cards. And then Jose, I liked how you really leaned in with Prometheus into the whole temptation thing. It was like, and it left me questioning who's the tempter there between the two of you. It was like, ooh, are you out tempting a tempter? That's pretty good. So I'm glad the dice fell the way that they did. That went really well.
Anything wishes wise?
As far as wishes, I guess I kind of would like to get an epilogue or narration at at the end of next session. I took a move last session, not that really does anything mechanically, but will set up my epilogue. So
Okay.
I think I guess I'm kind of planning for that right now.
All right. I think that's reasonable. Thank you all so much. I am going to stop the recording.